Thank you for staying for the news. And in our first story, government is set to reintroduce road tolls with a 100% increment. In November 2021, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta announced the immediate suspension of the collection of road tolls during the presentation of the budget. He cited congestion and traffic jams at the toll booths as justification for the suspension of the collection. But Deputy Roads Minister Stephen Jalula tells Joy News government is reintroducing the tolls because the e-levy is not performing.
When the e-levy came in, the government decided that the road tolls were going to be scrapped. Okay, so, but even before that particular budget was approved, there was chaos on all our tolling booths. So my boss thought it wise that there was no need for a life to be lost before this happened. And we knew that the good Parliament was going to, give us the approval. So he wrote that it should be suspended. Okay, road tolls were only suspended pending the approval of the budget. Yes, we used to get around 78 million per year, and that's a lot of money and can do something. But then in the e-levy was a component of a chunk of money. If we had approved e-levy at that, they said, and if the e-levy had worked the way it was conceived, I'm sure that we will not be talking about this today. But unfortunately, the e-levy failed us. It didn't work out the way we planned it. And that is why we are not talking about it. I know that over time, decision makers, the cabinet, the president's cabinet will come out again. If we are to introduce road tolls, why not? If we feel that we should, but let me also say that road tolls in Ghana was the least in the sub-region. You paid
in terms of how much we paid.
Okay. We paid 50 pesos. Meanwhile, they said, you pay 50 pesos, but you want to have quality roads like we see in the advanced countries. It's very difficult.
Well, in our second story, the National Democratic Congress is questioning the basis on which the Electoral Commission prioritizes the stake of smaller political parties in major decision-making affecting the interests of major parties with representation in Parliament. Since 2021, the NDC has declined invitations to participate in the Inter-Party Advisory Committee to discuss election-related matters. Chairman of the NDC, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, says the Electoral Commission's preferred solution by using the Ghana card will not solve all the problems affecting the Electoral Commission.
Before you make any new law, the first thing you do is, what is wrong with the existing system which I'm seeking to correct? Can you take a brand new vehicle to a workshop and then say that I have to change, you have to work on my vehicle? They ask you what is wrong with the vehicles, I don't know. They might think there's something wrong upstairs. So the Electoral Commission has so far not told Ghanaians what is wrong with the existing law.
The chairperson has been to Parliament. She says they want to do away with, for instance, the guarantor system, and that the Ghana card is part of that solution.
Why are they doing away with the guarantor system when the guarantor system is used to procure the Ghana card itself, which you want to use? Is the guarantor system good or bad? The guarantor system cannot be bad, cannot be good when you are using it to procure the national ID card. And then when you want to register people using the national ID card, you certainly feel that the guarantor system is bad. It's like somebody who declares that he doesn't want to eat maize or corn, and yet he can eat kenke.
Yes. And you have another opportunity with the IPAC, the Inter-Party Advisory Committee. It's a platform that was created, and you've served, you've been a member, you've attended these sessions over the years until recently when the party had some challenges with that forum. Will you use the IPAC as a means of channeling your grievances to the Electoral Commission?
IPAC is one of the institutions that has been weaponized. In this interview, I told you that the state institutions are gradually being weaponized. These are the things we must work at to make sure that IPAC delivers on its mandate. If not, we are not going to be participants because nobody will be allowed to use NDC as a rubber stamp for any wrong decisions.
So unless the reforms, you don't handle your concerns.
we put these cards on the table.
Right.
Luckily, when there is conflict, we have a state institution that works at the conflict to make sure that there is a resolution and there is peace, and that's the National Peace Council.
Well, from the politics, let's talk health now. And the ranking member on Parliament's Health Committee, Kwabena Minta Akando, says claims by President Akufo-Addo and his Minister of Health that no person died as a result of vaccine shortages is false. Debating the State of the Nation address in Parliament, the Dwaboso MP cited a pediatrician and claimed that up to 5 persons died due to the shortage. Kukwa Asante has more in the following report.
Health and security dominated today's debate in Parliament, with Minta Akando disputing government's claims that no lives were lost due to vaccine shortages.
Mr. Speaker, the President on this floor of the House said that we had recorded no death. The Minister also repeated on this floor that no death has been recorded. Mr. Speaker, that is again palpable falsehood. Mr. Speaker, according to the Northern Regional Pediatrician at Tamale Teaching Hospital, Professor Anum Al-Hassan, Mumin Al-Hassan, the Speaker, he says that we have recorded about 5 fatalities.
Only this weekend, government received 6 weeks worth of vaccines, but did not disclose where it came from. According to Kwabena Minta Akando, the vaccines came from Nigeria and urged government to come clean on the matter.
Mr. Speaker, on Saturday, we heard that Ghana has taken delivery of some vaccines, but what they didn't add was that these vaccines were coming from Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, these vaccines were coming from Nigeria. Of course, I have absolutely no problem if FDA confirms that these are good vaccines. But Mr. Speaker, the bigger question is that how come Nigeria has excess vaccines and we don't have?
MP for Doma East, Paul Chumberima, and Minister of State, Frida Prempeh, also debated on the majority side.
I heard most of my colleagues from the majority side talking about roads infrastructure, and my colleagues on the other side were trying to say as if that we've not constructed anything. We will tout that we have constructed more roads than the NDC. We will tout that we've been able to add over 50,000 kilometers to our roads infrastructure. Whether feeder roads, whether highways, whether urban roads, we have done more than the NDC did in the last few years.
Mr. Speaker, all is well. And that is my senior colleague Akando saying all is not well. I find it a bit strange because he knows that all is well with him.
The debate on the message on the State of the Nation presented by President Akufo-Addo last week to Parliament will continue until Thursday, when leadership on both sides are expected to conclude the debate. Today, much of the debate focused on health and security, with Kwabena Minta Akando, as you've heard there, lamenting the vaccine shortage and saying that even the latest consignment that government has received will only last about 6 weeks, and government must get some more permanent source of supply for the country. He has also been talking about the Agenda 111, which government said it would conclude by the time President Akufo-Addo leaves office. He says that government is not being truthful, and so far from the data they have received, some of these health facilities will be concluded way beyond 2027, even when the NPP will not be in office. The minority have been speaking against the message the president delivered. They say he has offered no hope to Ghanaians, while the NPP says the president delivered a message, although admitting that there's a crisis, but offered hope in terms of where the country will be going next. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, Parliament House, Accra.
Well, let's stay on health as we go to the Upper West region. And for almost 2 years, a theatre lamp at the West District Hospital has broken down. As a result, doctors at the hospital are forced to combine 2 or 3 mobile phones in order to generate light for surgery on patients. The situation, according to the medical superintendent of the Wawes District Hospital, Dr. Benjamin Amayori, is impeding work at the theater and thus greatly affecting healthcare at that facility. Rafiq Salam, my colleague, now reports from Wa.
Among the plethora of challenges faced by the Wawes District Hospital is a lack of a theater lamp. The theater lamp for 2 years has broken down. Authorities at the hospital have made several attempts to repair it, but has not yielded the desired results. Medical Superintendent of the Wawes District Hospital, Dr. Benjamin Amayori, says the lack of a theater lamp is greatly affecting healthcare delivery at the theater.
Permit me to say that it's only one that we have. Ideally, we should have had an overhead one and then a standing one. But we've had a standing one for the years now, and unfortunately that only one that we had also broke down. It's really affecting service because the lamp is the second eye for us, for both the nurses and the doctors when you are doing an operation. You have your own eyes, but when you are operating and you go into a cavity, a body cavity, you will not be able to see clearly. And it's like walking in the night without a torchlight. You would see that the movement will be difficult. In the same way, navigating our way through the surgical procedures that we do is a bit challenging, but we've had to do without them for close to 7 to 8 months now.
How is he able to perform surgeries without the theater lamp?
There are times you would have to ask 2 or 3 people to help with their lives. Let me just give you an example. Just this Monday, we had a man who came in with a gastric perforation with peritonitis. In layman terms, a hole in the stomach. And we needed to close the hole to avoid the contents from the stomach from leaking out into the entire cavity. And I had to use 2 lights, one on one side and another on another side, phone lights, to be able to see clearly and continue with the procedure. God being so good, we're able to do it with the experiences that we've had and the commitment of the staff that we have. We are able to do, but it's really challenging because you have to strain your eyes and strain your eyes to be able to do it. And honestly speaking, it's very challenging.
Although they have appealed to the Wawes Member of Parliament, Superintendent Retired Peter Lenchini Tubu, Wawes District Assembly, corporate organizations and benevolent individuals to come to their aid, they are however looking at what they can do internally to fix the challenge.
You know, usually most of these things we start with in-house. We have looked at our own capacity and we thought of getting it by ourselves. However, it's a bit expensive. When we made the inquiries, I think it's over 30,000. The last one we got was around 35. That was even about 6 to 7 months ago, and I don't know how it will be now. So we solicited the support of the Member of Parliament for Wawes, and he promised, he made us get the bills of quantities for him, and he promised getting us one. Unfortunately, maybe we haven't gotten it yet. And also the District Assembly has been brought in the known. We are by this appealing to other external organizations who can come to our aid. This is a deprived community, and we have sacrificed to be here to offer the best that we can for the people. And even to be operating for this number of months without the lamp is a testament of the sacrifices that we are willing to go the extra mile to help, but we need support.
Reporting for J News, Rafiq Salam, watch out.
Let's go to the Volta region now. And the newly installed paramount chief of Ziope, Togbi Bina Lauluvi VII, has promised to build on the legacies of his predecessor. He says he will also drive both human and infrastructural development in the area. He pledged this when kingmakers outdoored him at Ziope in the Agotime Ziope district of the Volta region.
The ceremony saw a display of authentic Ziope culture and tradition. Togbi Bina Lauluvi VII, known in private life as Frank Gasese, is the Western Regional Director of the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority. At a short coronation ceremony, oaths were exchanged between Togbi Bina and chiefs from the Ziope and Agotime traditional areas. Other traditional rites were also performed to signify his ascension to the throne as paramount chief of Ziope traditional area. He thus promised to lead the area to prosperity, promising to deliver to the expectation of his kinsmen and subjects.
Abadada vizaze bejibe ma nofia makata bune jofunu to amakata eto ime dashi na mun dokutu ya le mawuvir le mawuto le mawugbo ko kera be nkome a mawe wajeji na mi abele bejibe ma don kujina mi be ne mi to aba medeka de kan ya inse la mesha meshi wa wonu ije ngbo wa wo. The
chief warlord of the Agotime traditional area, Nene Akotosa VII, implored the two traditional areas to continue to live in peace and harmony.
Kekele miamea ejebe nenye deka ejebe miavio kokole school deleja me mimi ganabe wa yide dugaga ome afia ba odo ke bomia odeka nusoso deka ne miako nuka miako do dofe de assembly ame kem miavio chere o ma gaba yaba no electricity water bill kitato makemo utility bills are LG.
Togbi Bina Lauluvi VII researched the streets of Ziope and later swore an oath of commitment to the people at the community center. He has a master's degree in mining engineering, postgraduate diploma in organization development, among other certificates. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Ziope.
On our final story, green climate clubs have been inaugurated in 10 senior high schools in the northern region. The capacity of members of these clubs will be built to advocate for climate sustainability and environmental development. The formation of these clubs is to help nature climate smart generation that is sensitive to climate change.
The Ghana Meteorological Authority and its partners aim at capacitating every Ghanaian child with the knowledge and understanding on climate sustainability. A strategy GMET is employing to increase knowledge of the students on climate change and its associated impact on health, agriculture, food production, among others. Speaking at the inauguration, the Northern Regional Minister, Shani Alhassan Shaibu, who raised concerns over the impact of climate change on food security in the area, said the inauguration was timely.
Aware that the Northern region experiences irregular rainfall patterns and protracted droughts, which have an impact on food security and economic hardship for many communities. Dense heat waves have also been prevalent in the area, which has led to an increase in ailments and related heart diseases due to the heat. As a result, I anticipate that enlightening young people in the northern region about the impacts of climate change.
The acting director of GMET, Eric Esuma, said there was the need to create awareness using opportunity like the school clubs.
In addressing these issues, we have become aware that environment and climate change education is lacking, especially among the youth. However, there's opportunity to create awareness among students and young people through the introduction of climate clubs in high schools. The Green Climate Clubs therefore seeks to give an immense scope to especially high school students to gain a deeper knowledge and understanding of climate sustainability and environmental development. The vision of this club is to nurture climate smart generation, the generation that is sensitive to climate change, generation whose decisions are influenced by their impact on the climate, and a generation who are empowered to take action on issues related to climate change.
Deputy Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Ama Poma Boating, who represented the sector minister, said the ministry will continue to establish more clubs in many schools as they can to advocate among their peers.
Today, as we launch this Green Climate Clubs in the various high schools here present, the intention is to spread knowledge about climate change, adaptation, and mitigation. We will continue with our partners to establish climate clubs in as many schools as we can to prepare students to take action on issues related to climate change, supporting SDG 13 and the nation's socio-economic development.
And on that climatic note, we cap off the news. But stay with us. Dr. Kwame Asah-Asante joins us as we dig into the papers. We'll be right back.